So welcome. We're going to do this in many languages. Actually, now I'm quite confused. I don't know if I'm going to speak Norwegian or English. Those are the only two languages I know, by the way. So I'll do it in English as Norwegian PEN. My name is Hege Newth. I'm the Secretary General in Norwegian PEN. And we have the great pleasure of doing this program together with our mother organization in London, PEN International, who is the driving force of 150 freedom of expression PEN centers all around the world, amongst them Norwegian PEN. So we are very proud to have you here. First and foremost, it says in the cafe that on the screen that it lasts until 10 o'clock. It does not. No. And if so, you are free to go anytime and go to the cafe and buy something to drink, alcoholic or whatever. But we do serve coffee and ice water and fruit in the back, so please help yourselves. I think you might need it. When that is said, we are so proud to do this program because in Norwegian PEN we organize quite a few programs during the year, and I know that we have had some thematic programs presenting literature in Bangladesh, in Afghanistan, in Iran and so forth, but and even in Eritrea. But this is the first time that we have an open microphone to all those voices that otherwise have a hard time being heard. We know that there are very many exiled writers and journalists living in Norway and of course also in other countries in Europe, but primarily in Norway now. So this is, as we feel in PEN, that this is in the core of everything we work with, to give the floor and the microphone and the possibility to be heard to exiled journalists and writers. I will also say that we will be, not we, but you will be filmed. UNHCR is here to film it, but I think Ebony will tell a little bit more about that. If you have any hesitations or restrictions on being filmed and published, please tell them. We will just cut you out. So then we will not film you. Okay, now I have the great pleasure and privilege to introduce our colleague in London, Ebony Riddle-Bambler. She's advocacy and program director, or
communications.
Communications.
Programs as well, if you want.
We only have one sort of title in Norway. You have so many.
Yes, we do.
But anyway, Ebony, please, this floor is yours.
Thank you, Hege. And I just want to say that we're thrilled to be here. So as Hege said, I'm Ebony Riddle-Bambler. I'm the Director of Advocacy and Communications at PEN International. And I'm here with many members of my team. And we're really excited to be here today to be sharing this event with you. I have to say, obviously, thanks first of all to the team here at PEN Norway, Hege, Ingeborg and the rest who have put on this event. And we're really looking forward to hearing all the contributions from the various writers here and also some other performances, I think, potentially. So you should have all have a brochure, hopefully you picked up on the way in, which it looks like this. So this tells you a bit about our Make Space campaign. So why is it called Make Space and what's it all about? So PEN is nearly 100 years old. So in 2021, PEN will have been going for 100 years. And we've always been an organisation of writers, displaced writers, refugee writers. So it's about our identity as an organisation fundamentally. And we've always called on communities, governments, cultural organisations and cultural actors to make space for those voices in every aspect of their lives. Given where we are now in 2018 and we see lots of threats to both freedom of expression but also the right to migrate, it's a really important time for us to reassert the need to make space for those voices and to call for action in various environments around the world to make sure those voices are heard, and this event today is part of that. So what we do through the campaign, so we want to create opportunities like this for the voices of exiled writers, refugee writers, displaced writers to be heard, and particularly their literature, their voices, their films, their articles, everything that they produce to be given equal footing. We want to strengthen those voices in the migration debates that go on in the UN, in the African Union, in the Organisation of American States, all of those different international regional actors. We want those voices to be heard. And one of the things we're going to be doing is incorporating those voices in our advocacy work that we do. So, for example, at the moment, the UN is developing a new compact on migration and a new compact on refugees, and we're trying to bring the voices of writers into those debates because there are unique, specific challenges that they face. We also want to deepen and extend our protection work. So, ICORN are one of our key partners. They're not here tonight, but the International Cities of Refuge Network. And we work alongside them to assess cases of writers at risk and relocate them in cities like Oslo. So this is a really important partnership to our work. So we want to carry on doing more of that, but as there's more demand, there's more need. I should also mention our colleagues who are here from the UN High Commissioner for Refugees. PEN International is part of their With Refugees campaign, and this event is part of their global tour that they're running in the run-up to September, when there will be a big UN meeting on migration and refugees. So the last thing I want to do is just read a little segment of the mission statement that we launched with our Make Space campaign, which launched last year, which was signed by many writers, and we'd like all of you here to support the campaign in any way that you can. So I'm just going to read one specific segment which I think kind of sums up why we're here and what we're trying to do with the campaign. So it goes like this. Some of us have been displaced. Some of us are refugees and asylum seekers. Some of us have lived in exile or have been forced to go into hiding in our own countries. But we are all writers and use words in ways that can shift and inform the society around us. And whoever we are, wherever we are, when we consciously make space for the stories of displaced communities within our own, we can make space for a shared cultural understanding that enriches us and connects us, disrupting the systems of division that alienate and dehumanise. It's time to act, and to act together. Thank you, and let's enjoy some of the performances tonight. Yeah. Thank
you. Let's act. I have the very great pleasure to introduce my friend, and a great Iraqi poet and translator and everything, also working for PEN International, and who's going to be your official host today. So if you have any questions regarding time or schedule or anything, don't talk to Basim now. Okay. But Basim, Mardan, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Hege. Thank you very much all for coming. I have prepared something to say about this event, actually. But I've been working in Benin. I've been a writer and a translator in Iraq, and I completed the circle, and a year and a half ago started working for PEN International as a protection officer, where I mainly work on cases, ICORN cases of persecuted writers from their countries. When the Make Space campaign was taking shape, unfortunately I was not part of the team that came up with that title. But however, the more I think about it, the more I find myself agreeing with its direct meaning and its indirect implications. We are here not creating a space out of nowhere. We are just pointing out, first to ourselves, and then to many others, that the space actually exists. It is there. So our mission is to remind ourselves and to remind all the people who are interested that the space is there, physical or metaphorical, and the space is enough for all of us if we decided to share it. Mm-hmm. The space we are making, unlike other spaces, it is more for me as a round table, even though today it's a little square, many tables, but a round table in the sense that everybody is sitting in front of everybody else, or everybody is sitting beside everybody else, which gives the sense of equality. No one is left in the corner, no one is left marginalized, and everybody has a fair share of sharing their literature, their experiences, and their lives, actually. A question may arise: does it matter? Is it relevant? Well, yes, it is, and yes, it does. And we have examples from our history, our recent history. Like we have the cases of a person who made a space on her own. We were late to arrive, but Anne Frank made that space. We arrived, we listened, we understand. We have the case of a person who made the space from his prison cell, like the famous Turkish writer Nazım Hikmet. He made the space, we arrived, we listened, we understood. We have the case of Karl von Ossietzky, who made the space, we understood. We have the case of Ashraf Ayal and Raif Badawi, who are still making the space. And we do need to arrive, and we do need to understand. And once we get there, once we get together, the natural thing will happen. We will start talking to one another, we will start listening to one another, and most importantly, we will start understanding one another. On their own, many writers around the world, from different places, from countries in which they are persecuted in, from exiles, from little apartments in the suburbs of some cities, from prison cells, from hospitals, and from the street, are inviting us all to make the space, to go to them, to listen to them, to wine and dine with them, and to recite poetry and sing along with them. PEN International and all the PEN centers have been always attempting to be that space. And today, PEN is responding to a very alarming signals coming to us from all over the world, telling us that our morality as a human kind is somehow deteriorating to periods of history where we thought that we would never experience again. So PEN, with the help of its worldwide network, with the help of its partners, decided to make the space. And this is the space we are making today, and many others, of course, to come. We are here to celebrate our similarities rather than our differences. We are here to celebrate our languages. We are here to celebrate our literary traditions. So let's make a space. The first writer who is going to make a space today is a very dear friend of mine, a writer who came all the way from Krakow, Poland, to just be with us today, my hero, Khulud Sharaf. Give her a round of applause.
When I received the invitation for this event, I was thinking very hard what I should say to you. It is better to read some of my poems in my mother language, which as a poet I can master, and really on the hope that we will enjoy the sound and melody of it, or is it better share with you some of my thoughts and experience in English, the language that is still not very familiar to me, although I owe to it so much since I left Syria that I would like to treat it like my best friend. I don't know who I exactly am. I was given a name, Khulud Sharaf, which means the honor of eternity. I was born here, on earth, in a country called Syria. I come from a small town, Aswada. Coming here, I lived there in Syria. All my family and friends, and the Syrian children, and people who need help. I wish I could protect them, and I will always keep them in my heart. My great hope is that mankind will always keep them, will live in peace and will stop to play this bad and violent game of war. I can't imagine how a man dare to kill his brother or sister. I don't want this. I want to be a real and deep human being, living in a world where we can stay faithful to our humanity. I am a Syrian woman. I come from Syria. During the war, I lost my faith, but I tried to continue to live as a human being and protect my humanity. I was in a deep isolation and in a terrifying stage of my life. I worked in the prison and tried to give hope to prisoners, but I had no hope. My work with them was a test to my humanity. I have never been able to tolerate what man can do to each other. I am convinced that suffering of one nation somewhere is always suffering of all humankind and humanity. If we allow to cause suffering to people of whatever nation, then what is the fate of our planet? The war forces you to live on a knife edge between life and death. But actually, during the war, you live as you were dead. Member of my family, my friends, and me as a person, and my childhood, my youth, my good memories, all these people and things died before my very eyes. What can I say? I can write about it from here, in a safe place. But I think that in the face of the war, it means nothing. Now my new home in Poland is Poland, a safe country, but I still keep my people in my heart. And what is more, I would love Polish and all Europe people to keep them in your heart with me. When I came to Poland, I quickly get used to the peace. My mind get accustomed to the silence and calm. In Europe, everything is different from Syria. Language, custom, nature, architecture, food, religion, even the way how people look here. Everything here is different. After I arrived here, I started my second life. I wanted to build my mind like a completely new house. Then it turned out that I had been building this new house on the sand, not on the rock. After some time, I had my first travel here in Europe. I traveled to Germany to visit my friends. And there, for the first time since I left Syria, I met Arab families. I heard their Arabic language and saw my people which have the same pain. They reminded me about my country, my pain there, the war and all bad things that my mind had been trying to escape from. Then the house that I built completely collapsed. I fainted and woke up after several hours in the hospital. And then I realized that we all need a deep treatment. I can't express how sorry I am for all the people from my country. We have to be aware that the war is nothing else than the end of us as a human. What is happening now in Syria and in all areas of the war is the pain of the whole earth and a big threat to our humanity. We try to convey our pain to you, not to make you suffer. Your suffer would harm us, but to show you how this pain hurt us. Please, don't forget about our pain when you leave this event and go home. We are trying to tell you that this pain of war is not necessary. We really don't need to fight. Only love can be our mean to live as a brotherly people. We all, regardless of nation, culture, religion, or a skin color, are afraid of hunger, of thirst, of deprivation, of loss, of death. We are afraid of the life we have always loved. We, the Syrians, are completely similar to you. We have children, our homes, our trees, our memories. But all of these things we have lost. You think that we are still alive? Newspaper often deal with us as if we were only numbers. We are not numbers. But you must know that we really need you to become alive again. I am here among you now in a safe place. I left the children Syria, dying. Please stop killing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the great Palestinian poet Mahmoud Darwish once said that translating of poetry is just like kissing a woman through a layer of a glass. It's a kiss, but is it? The next writer who's going to make space is my friend Amani Lazar, who's going to read in Arabic. So give her a round of applause, please.
So, good evening. I'm coming from Helsingør, Denmark. I'm the guest writer, icon guest writer in Helsingør. I'm working as a translator also from English into Arabic. I would like to read 3 poems I wrote when I was still living in Syria during the war. Okay, I hope I will have the opportunity later to translate into English, so I will read in Arabic. كمن يحاول أن يصنع مقلبا صغيرا فيضع العلب الصغيرة داخل العلب الكبيرة ويغلفها لتبدو كالهدية. هكذا مجازا كنت أصف حياتي بسجون داخل سجون، البلاد والمدن فالبيوت وحتى أضيق الغرف. أما الآن فالسجن أضحى حقيقة ولم يعد هناك ما يثير الضحك أبدا. دعبت الريح أوراق شجرة التفاح لتسلي وحشتي أول الليل. لطول ما وقفت إلى النافذة صارت صديقتي. سألتها تراهم لماذا يحكمون على ميت بالسجن؟ لم تحر جوابا، لكني رأيت على خدها سيل الدموع. ها هو عمري يتقدم وحيدا مسرعا أمامي ويتركني طفلة تلهو بأرجوحة شجرة التوت الكبيرة في بيت الأجداد واسع الأرجاء، وقد فرقت أهلوه اليوم الرياح الأربع. غدا عندما تنتهي الحرب سأعلق في حديقتي أرجوحة قد تنفع حبالها لتكون مشنقة عندما يكف القلب عن التحليق. Thank you.
I would like to ask you, Mohammed al-Mufti, you need no introduction here in Norway, to make a space for us. Come again.
God dagen. Mitt navn er Mohammed al-Mufti. Jeg kom til Norge for drøyt 20 år. Og så I løpet av den tiden, den norske moralen, norske prinsipper, som lagde meg, som jeg I dag. Jeg statsadministrert tolk, politisk rådgiver, og jeg driver med seminar som virksomhet og forfatter. Jeg har vært I Irak mange ganger I siste tiden, blant terrorister. Jeg har god erfaring på hvordan de får en god fotfeste I de forskjellige områder, og hva betyr munker, diktator, terrorisme. Jeg I dag står her fordi jeg fikk en e-mail klokken 13:21 fra Hege. Norsk venn minnet meg på Åpen mikrofon, så jeg tenkte jeg må stille opp for norsk venn som gjør en fantastisk jobb over hele verden. Vi må være stolt av dem og støtte dem. Og tenkte for å gjøre noe nytt, så jeg tenkte jeg må skrive noe nytt for norsk venn. Så jeg skrevet bare prolog fra den nye romanen som jeg tenkte å skrive. Oversett den til arabisk. Jeg skal ta den på arabisk først. 10 حزيران 2015 كانت أفكاري تتجاذبه العقلانية والجنون في آن واحد حتى لم أدرك ما هو الصح والخطأ. زوجي حبيبي سيف هذا الرجل الذي لم يسمي إلا المسميات بأسمائها طيلة حياته سافر إلى اليمن قبل 92 يوما و3 ساعات وربع. تحدث معي في التلفون من فيينا وأرسل لي رسالة إلكترونية من صنعاء. كذاب. وصلني البارحة مغلف بريدي من أحد معارفنا في العراق شرح لي أن سيف قد طلب منه أن يرسل هذا المغلف لي إن لم يعد من الموصل بعد 3 أشهر. فتحت المغلف وجدت فيه مسودة رواية ورسالة لي كتب فيها إلى حبيبتي. لا أعلم إن كنت ستسامحيني وتغفري لي أم لا. أتمنى أن تفعلي. كنت مضطرا للسفر عائدا إلى الموصل وأنت تدركين تماما لماذا عدت. سافرت لكي أصفي حساباتي. الشعور بالذنب شعور لا يطاق ولا يحتمل. أمنيتي الأخيرة أن ترسلي مسودة روايتي إلى دار النشر أسكهوك. دع العالم يرى وجه الحقيقة ووجه الفضيحة الحقيقي. أرجوك أن تحققي أملي. اغفري لي. أحبك. بالرغم من أنني حطمت مكتبه كسرت جهاز حاسوبه ورفسته بكل ما أوتيت من قوة لكنني لم أفقد الأمل بعودته ليكتب الفصل الأخير بنفسي. بالرغم من صعوبة إرسال ذكرياته إلا أني اخترت أن أرسل روايته آخر ذكرياتي إلى دار النشر تحقيقا لرغبته وطلبت إرجاعها لي لاحقا. لا أعلم لماذا اختار هذا الخيار الصعب. قرأت مسودة روايته عدة مرات وحصلت على أجوبة على بعض الأسئلة التي تدور في خلدي وبقي في جعبتي الكثير. خذلني. أنا أحبه لكنني لن أغفر له. تبقى أرامس يعني هذا إنه قرش. 10 juni 2015 tolker mine havnet I dragkamp mellom fornuft og galskap. Jeg vet ikke hva som galt eller riktig lenger. Min mann, min elskede Seif, som aldri løyet for meg, aldri kalte en spade. Han reiser til Jemen for 92 dager, 3 timer og et kvarter. Han snakket med meg på telefon fra Wien og sendte meg en SMS fra Sanna. Det var det han sa. Løgner. I går fikk jeg en pakke I posten fra en bekjent I Irak. Han forklarte meg at Seif hadde bedt ham om å sende den pakken til meg hvis han kommer ikke tilbake fra Mosul etter 90 dager, eller 3 måneder. Jeg åpnet pakken. Det var et brev og manuskriptet. I brevet skrev han til meg. Hei, min elskede. Jeg vet ikke om du kommer til å tilgi meg eller ikke. Jeg håper at du gjør det. Jeg var nødt til å reise tilbake til Mosul. Du vet like godt som meg hvorfor. Jeg måtte ned til å ta et oppgjør. Skyldfølelsen tungt å bære. Mitt siste ønske er å sende manuskriptet til Aschehoug forlag. La verden se det sanne, se sannheten og skandale rette ansikt. Vær så snill, gjør det for meg. Unnskyld meg, Dane, jeg elsker deg. Til tross for at jeg ramponerte kontoret hans og kastet PC-en på gulvet, sparket den så hardt jeg kan. Jeg har likevel ikke mistet håpet på at han kommer tilbake og skriver det siste kapitlet i romanen selv. Uansett om jeg nå har valgt å sende hans manuskriptet til Aschehoug, det var veldig tungt å sende vekk hans siste minne. Jeg vet ikke hvorfor han tok så veldig vanskelig valg. Jeg leste manuset mange ganger og fikk svar på noen spørsmål, men jeg sitter med mange usvarte spørsmål. Han sviktet meg. Jeg elsker han, men jeg tilgir han ikke. Takk for oppmerksomheten.
Our next writer who is going to read is someone that I have heard of before. We happen to work in the same organization in Mosul, defending human rights and teaching democracy in 2006, 2015, I think, 2005, sorry. The great poet from Mosul, Ali Haider. Please give him a round of applause.
Good evening. I am Ali Haider El-Jum'a. I am a writer and journalist. I am from Iraq. My city is Mosul. I come to Norway since 10 months. I live now in Kristiansand. Those texts are about ISIS practices in Mosul. Yeah. Sorry, I need the glasses. غياب وآخرون. دائما الأب يحب الأولاد. بعيني هاتين رأيت رأس رجل مقطوعا، ورأيت الأولاد يلعبون كرة القدم برأس الرجل، وكانوا يحرزون أهداف. كانت لحيته بيضاء بلون داكن في أطرافها. بعيني هاتين رأيت الرأس المقطوع يبتسم، فهو أب في كل الأحوال ويحب أن يراهم سعداء. الأب دائما يحب الأولاد. الأهل، مع كل توقف يبدأ نص جديد. الأهل يعرفون أبناءهم، دوما يعرفونهم كيفما كانوا. سيرن الهاتف الأول وسيرن الهاتف الثاني، سيرن الرابع والخامس، سترن الهواتف كلها. الأهل دوما يتصلون بأبنائهم، وسنعرف حينها اسم الجثث المشوهة من هواتفها. ومن لا يملكون هاتفا يطمئن، فالأهل دوما يعرفون جثث أبنائهم. كلهم يطيرون ويتلاشون. في الحروب تختفي الأشياء تباعا. حين يبدأ القتل في الشوارع تتطاير سنواتك عاليا وتتبدد، وحياتك تحلق كغيمة صغيرة هناك. تراقب الوطن وهو يطير أيضا كطائر كبير ثم يختفي، فتتزاحم رغبات كثيرة في روحك، وترى نفسك أيضا تحلق عاليا عاليا جدا ولا يمكنك الرجوع. كانت جثته في تابوت، وكان أبوه ينحب بصوت عال ويقول: لم يجدوا الرأس. أين صار الرأس يا الله؟ هل كان يصرخ حين قتلوه؟ كيف سأعرف؟ أم كان يضحك شامتا بهم؟ أم كان يبصق عليهم؟ الشامة وسط صدره قالت أنه ابننا، قالت الكثير. الشامة قالت للحفارين: احفروا قبرا صغيرا لجثة بلا رأس. والأب يضع يديه على رأسه ويبكي رأس ابنه ويقول بنحيب طويل: كيف يا الله؟ كيف ستعرف ابني يوم الحساب؟ البيت قريب من الشارع، قريب جدا، ولا أحد هناك ليقفل الباب عليه، فيجرح البيت ركبته وهو يلعب طويلا في الخارج. شرفاته أيضا تلعب في الحديقة طوال الظهيرة، لا أحد يجلس في المطبخ وعينه عليه. صاحبه خارج البلاد والبيت وحيد، لا أحد يسامره، لا أحد يفتح الباب عليه، ولا عتب عليه إن خاف، ولا عتب عليه إن خاف في الليل، لا عتب عليه إن أصابه الدار، وهو يرى القذائف تصيب البيوت وتهشم رأسها، والنوافذ يتطاير زجاجها، فيخرج البيت إلى الشارع الطويل ويركض كممسوس. من يلوم البيت إذا نزل إلى الشارع وهرب بعيدا؟ شكرا جزيلا.
I would like to invite Farida Ahmadi from Afghanistan, who's going to read to us in English and Persian. Please.
always problem for me to be low, but in the resistance movement, it was a good pleasure, because the hiding class for our organization, it is so small, but they need me to bring paper and all underground material. I must go, and it was a privilege to be low, but here is not. Yeah. My name is Farida Ahmadi. I am a social anthropologist, and what's called, I was born in Afghanistan, and I fought against Russian and against fundamentalists, and I was in the jail 3 times, 2 times in Kabul, and 1 time in Pakistan. I have experience of CIA and KGB together, and I know what is. But today I am going to read from different part of my book, which I translated from Norwegian to English and Persian. And this is Silent Scream in English, Pain and Suffering, and in norsk, Tauseskrik, og persisken kommer på fransk og japansk, og japanerne lager teater i juni. Jeg skal reise til Japan, og ja, sorry, my mother tongue language Norwegian come. It will be translated in French and Japanese make theater, and I will travel to Nagoya to talk about silent screen. But now I read first Persian and after English. بلقیس زن تنها. با بلقیس قبلا آشنا شدیم. زنی است که ابتدا به خاطر بیماری از کار رفتگری و صفاکاریش رخصت گرفت، سپس توان کار را از دست داد و خانه‌نشین شد. روزی به دیدنش رفتم، در حالی که این طرف و آن طرف می جوقید، آهی کشید و با لبخند ساختگی گفت: اتاق اولادهایم را ببین، چقدر زیباست. این برایم اهمیت دارد، چون اولادهایم باید جای خوبی برای استراحت داشته باشند و در اتاق خود آرام باشند. سپس در اتاق را باز کرد و اتاق در هم و بر هم و تنها توشک اسفنجی روی زمین انبار بود و گفت: ببین فریده، این گور من است، این بستر من است. Bilqis, a lonely woman. We have heard the story of Bilqis, who was first on sick leave from her cleaning job and became incapacitated and unable to work. One day when I visited her, she sighed deeply. She bustled around while she gave me a false smile. Look at the children room. How beautiful it is. It is important to me. The children must have a nice place to rest and enjoy themselves on their own room. Then she showed me a messy room with only a foam mattress on the floor. She said, "Look, Farida, this is my grave, my bed." Now the other part, first in Persian and after in English. در جامعه چند فرنگی نروژ امروز ما تا حد زیادی به خطرات ناسیونالیسم آگاهیم، اما خطر انتقال امین ناسیونالیسم را به اقلیت‌های جدید کشور نمی‌بینیم. باید در اجتماع به طرز نوینی بیاندیشیم. کسانی که در این کشور زندگی می‌کنند باید جدا از نسبیت‌های قومی، مذهبی، دینی و فرهنگی خود سهم خود را با عامتان در جامعه، در حیات اجتماعی جامعه ادا نمایند. تفاوت‌های فرهنگی، دینی، قومی، نژادی نمی‌تواند و نباید اساس سیاست‌های دولت و سهم‌بندی و تخصیص کلی باشد. Today in the Norwegian multicultural society, we recognize to a great extent the danger of nationalism, but we do not see the danger of transferring the same basic way of thinking to the new minorities on the country. We must think about community in the new way. Those who live here and to be full participants independent of ethnicity, religion, and culture. Cultural, religious, and ethnic difference cannot be the basis of state policy and allocation of funds. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Farida. I would like to invite my friend Asia Amini to take the floor, so please give her a round of applause.
Hello, friends and family. I said family because it's not easy to sit there and listening to somebody from Syria and introduce myself that I was born in Iran. When I was a child, I missed two of my cousins. This is always very difficult to tell. And I usually don't tell about my childhood and some conflicts around me. But I want to tell now. Because my cousins were killed by their father. That is the same situation I'm feeling when I sit there and I listening to war in Syria. And I know that some Iranians are there and pushing this war done, and I'm ashamed for that. I will read some poems of my next books. My next book that is translated to English now, and I hope that it will be translated soon to Norwegian too. And my dear Sahar will present it in English because I cannot read the same time in Persian and English. یادت باشد همیشه او که رفته است، یادت باشد همیشه او که تنها مانده است، تنها تر است از او که تنها رفته است. You want to put it now or later?
Up to you, completely.
Okay. هیچ نامه‌ای نه؟ Okay.
Remember that the one who has been left alone is always lonelier than the one who has left alone.
هیچ نامه‌ای تمام طعم تو نیست، هیچ ترجمه‌ای تمام طعم شعر من. ما فقط پاره‌ای از عشق را به ارث میبریم. This is about the keys you said from Darwish.
No letter is the whole taste of you. No translation, the whole tone of my poem. We always inherit just a portion of love.
And you told my friend that we are not numbers. Yes. عدد نفس می کشد. عدد نفس می کشد. یک دلبری چشم به راه است، یک مردی است بی امید در اتاقی بی پنجره پشت راه روی تاریک که به حیاتی کوچک ختم می شود. یک زنی است در 80 میلیون یک. یکیست از 678. یکی از آنهاست بی پنجره در اتاقی تنگ پشت راه روی تاریک که به حیاتی کوچک ختم می شود. یک می تواند عاشقی باشد چشم در راه، یک می تواند دلبری باشد در تصویر محو یک حیات کوچک. عددها نفس میکشند، عددها گاهی نفس نمیکشند. 678 نفر سال گذشته اعدام شدند.
One is a waiting beloved. One is a man with dead dreams in a room without a window. At the end, a dark corridor which opens to a small yard. One is a woman among 80 million other ones. One is a man without a window. The numbers breathe. Occasionally, the numbers don't breathe. 678 prisoners were executed last year.
زمین شعر ساده است، زمین شعر ساده است، به زبان ساده هر جا که خاطری از تو هست سرزمین من است. هر جا که ترک کردم آرامگاه تو. شعر ساده است نه؟ شکل یک پروانه گستاخ که ولکن پریدن نیست. از این گل به آن باغچه، از آن باغچه به گرد افشانی همه شعرهایی که پشت یک اقیانوس دفتر شد. به زبان ساده کلمه دست مرا میگیرد، کلمه از زمینم بلند می کند، پرواز می دهد و همه غروب های دنیا شکل آغوش تو را می گیرد. This is the last one, I promise.
The Earth, a poem. The Earth is a simple poem, in a simple language. Wherever there is a memory of you is my country. Wherever I've left is your resting place. It's a simple poem, isn't it? It has the shape of a bold butterfly, which goes on flying and flying from this flower to that garden, from that garden to the pollination of all poems, which tend to be a collection behind an ocean. In simple words, the word takes my hand. The word takes me up. The word makes me fly. And all sunsets of the world take the taste of your embrace.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Sahar. Thank you, Basim. The next person who's going to take the floor is a good friend of mine and one of my personal heroes, who's going to read to you a letter from a good friend of mine and one of my personal heroes. Hege, the floor is yours.
First, I have a message. Hi, Hege. I feel sad that I can't come. If it's possible, you can read these following things on behalf of me. Best Tutul. Tutul is also, that's this, what's it called, a nickname? No? An alias for Ahmedur Chaudhry, who's a publisher from Bangladesh. He miraculously survived an attack by a machete in October 2015, 16, sorry. Well, 15. Okay. And then he came to Skien as a guest writer, which we are, article writer, we are very happy. And he couldn't come, so we agreed that I could read this on behalf of him. I stand on this free platform today and want to draw your attention to some vital topics. 1. In Bangladesh, writers, freethinkers, bloggers and publishers must have the right to express their views securely and with no threat to life. 2. People of all religions and faiths must have equal rights and be fully protected under the Constitution of Bangladesh. 3. Extrajudicial crossfire killings must be stopped and rule of law returned. 4. The targeted political killings must be immediately halted and replaced with a healthy, functional political system. 5. Palestinians must be given back their rights to return as a displaced people without the threat of violence. 6. Any country that is attempting any form of military attack, whether unilaterally Unilateral. Sorry, unilateral. Okay. Sorry, it took too. Or in conjunction with allies, must cease such plans. 7. Afghan refugee Sefatullah Safi must be rehabilitated and provided refuge in Norway. 8. Bangladeshi blogger Ibrahim Khalil Sabak, who has spent the past 3 years in prison in Nepal, must be relocated at the earliest possible opportunity.
Thank you very much, Hege. According to our registry, the next act is going to be our last act for tonight. She's a great person. She's a good friend of mine. Her name in Arabic translates into "Oh my God." The great poet, goddess in Arabic, you know. The great poet and expressional dancer Ilahi. Please give her a round of applause.
Hello, all of you. As Basim said, my mother called me Elahe. It means goddess in both Persian and Arabic. And I'm a writer, theater performer, and actress. Tonight, I'm going to read from one of my last books. It's a poem story collection named The Sound of Laughs. But before I start, thank you, dear Asya, for the thing that you mentioned. I just wanted to add something to what Asya said about what's happening today in the area in the Middle East. And it's not just Syria, it's actually all the area in Yemen, in Iraq, and Palestine. Actually, this regime is supporting all these terroristic actions. But I want all of you to remember there is a big line, red line between the Islamic regime of Iran and the Iranian people. And actually, it's 99% of people are against it and hate it. And that's why we are here now, because of fighting against it. Waking up in the shape of butterflies to the girls of Revolution Street. I don't know if it was a street or a crossroad. It was so crowded, hard to see around. The waves of color came from the sides so massively and densely that you had to push them apart with both hands to cross over. I remember passing of the colorful groups of fish in the warm waters. The butterflies came from every side in scores. The clusters of yellow, pink, orange, and purple butterflies were suspended in the space instead of air, as if it was a butterfly's cooking ceremony, as if there was plenty of big pots full of butterflies on the roofs of every house, and they were cooked and sent up into the air again and again. It was hard to walk, so I thought that flying is better. I closed my legs and opened my wings and followed the butterflies. You, with a hand in your pocket, were standing on the other side of the square, tall, robustly, boasting of your thick chest and asking me to come to you by shaking your head. I reached you, sat on your shoulder like the parrot of my neighbor which sat on his shoulder. Hungry? You asked. Hungry and thirsty both, I answered. wine or nectar? You asked. Both, if no bother, you answered. I answered. You smiled, offering your lips to me as in a proposal, and I drank both wine and nectar to be full. When night came, you put me in your breast pocket, climbed up a big tree, and we slept on a wide branch under the moonlight. In the morning, when we woke up, there was nothing. No city, no butterfly, nothing. It was just you, a tree, an endless desert, and I. We both, scared, looked at the tree. At least she was older than you and me, and knew unwritten secrets better than us. But the tree's silence and cracked neck told us that our eyes was loaded on an endless route. We got on the way, your foot on the ground and mine in the air. We went and went and went and became thirstier and thirstier. Your lips were dried of thirst, and there was no wine and nectar. More hope on the way than to stay. So we continued, even though there was no life in our tired bodies, until you fell down and I fluttered over your exhausted and hefty body, while that large and large and large repetitive question was passing between my hands and yours like day and night. Where have the butterflies gone, and why? And I was banging my body at your shoulders to stop you from falling down into sleeping death. 14 centuries passed, and I still fluttered over your shoulders, hoping that you wake up again, removing heavy dust from your clothes, little by little, with my tiny wings, until someday a butterfly fell on the earth from a cloud, and one more, and one more, and a rain of butterflies started, and your body became covered with butterflies. We all together went to their hidden underground shelter. Each of us found a petal or leaf to carry drops of dew and poured them one by one in your dry mouth to wake you up. We passed 40 years coming and going. 40 times we died and revived, searching down, searching 40 seas, 40 mountains, and 40 fields, until at the end of 14th, it's this year, you burst out laughing, and a bubbling fountain of wine and nectar sprouted from your white teeth. The butterflies gathered under that sweet shower, and I, who was deeply exhausted, took my pillow out of your breast pocket, laid it down on your shoulder calmly, and fell to sleep. Thank you.
I have the great pleasure of saying the final words. First and foremost, I would say thank you so much to Basim Mardan. Please give him a huge round. Actually, I really asked him at least 3 times to read one of his own poems, but he was very hard to ask, and I don't know if you...
I don't have any pen with me now.
Okay, next time. Basim will certainly read one of your own poems. Okay. And then I will say thank you so much to PEN International and the UNHCR for organizing this together with us, and for the audience, but first and foremost to all the writers, for all the readers. We will all be going home this evening a little bit richer with the more important thoughts, but I will also hope that we all will make more efforts to make space for each and one another. So, go in peace, everyone.